What's going on, y'all? It's Drains coming at you with episode 2 of Scrub Grows. Alright, for this episode, the study that we're going to be working on is One Piece, a super popular anime with an extremely long run. I absolutely love this show, so I really wanted to dedicate a day to it. So the character I'm going to focus on is Luffy, the main character. He's one of my favorite characters. He's very outgoing, ambitious, and he's always striving to get better, which that really resonates with me. I love it. One thing I felt I really needed to focus on in these studies was Luffy's face. When I tried drawing him before, I could not get it right. So a lot of my early drawings of Luffy just did not look right. So I mainly focused on his face. I felt semi-confident in my anatomy and my line work, especially after the last one. So I was like, all right, let's just go all in on the face. So that's exactly what I did. After a billion tries, I literally filled up that whole first page. I finally got to a point where I'm like, okay, this isn't terrible. Let's see what we can do with this. So then I went ahead and immediately jumped over to my concept sketches. I wanted to use his power, incorporate his powers into it, but I also didn't know exactly what to do. So I decided to go with him going into his gear second form while also using the new power that he's gotten in the new show, the new hockey power, which is really cool and super cinematic. So I love it. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So I love the pose that I came up with. I thought it was super cool. It's very, it's noticeable. It's recognizable if you watch the show, so he uses it a lot. So I figured I'd go with this, but an alternate version of him wearing his Wano outfit while looking up and using a new power as well as going into gear second. I loved building his body. I don't know what it was about this piece, but I had an absolute blast designing the character and slowly building up to a point that I was confident with. So as usual, I start with the blue pencil, which I always use as the under pencil, so it's easy to erase, easy to draw over without it being too imposing, just doing the whole thing in pencil, which can leave a few smudges here and there and make it really hard to erase. So I always start by drawing the character naked and adding the clothes on top, because I used to draw with the clothes initially, but I could never get the anatomy right. I'm still not experienced enough to do that, so I try to take things one step at a time. I thought the pose came out really cool, and once I started penciling it in, I started feeling really confident. I was like, oh wow, this thing is looking solid. Luffy looks like the character in the show. The lines are looking hot. All around hotness. Loving it. And I'm so looking forward to inking it and then throwing it into digital art. So we're gonna keep at it. And I did have some issues with it. I thought his arm was a little long. His legs I couldn't seem to get completely right. But overall I thought his expression was really good. I thought the overall pose was fine. I got his clothes right, his hair solid. I'm not the best at fan art, fair warning. But I'm really enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to the digital art. I had all these big plans for the digital art. I did some studies on the colors that they used in the show, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make this a simple color palette with cell shading and go from there. I did have some issues with my digital recordings. For some reason, my iPad kept canceling my recording, so I missed out on the whole beginning of my digital art. And I also missed out on a few, I missed out on a 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there, 5 minutes here. But I felt like I was able to get it all overall together to make this look solid. I'm really focusing on line weight for this, because I've noticed in shonen mangas and stuff like that, line weight is very important. It makes the piece more dynamic. I could have went heavier with the line weight, but this piece was already taking a really long time, and I unfortunately was rushing a little bit. But at the end of it all, I thought the lines came out perfectly fine. I loved how he came out character-wise, and I was really looking forward to coloring, which surprised me. I'm not the best at coloring. I'm more of a like sketch a character and go into the next thing type of guy. But I was looking forward to the coloring this time. After the last piece that I made of Hollow Knight, I was feeling more and more confident with coloring in digital art, and I brought that confidence into this piece, and I'm like, all right, we got this. We're gonna have no issues. Luffy will be amazing. Straw Hat will slay. The base colors came out fine. I picked all the colors myself. I was looking at reference the whole time because almost all artists I follow or all like books I read, they talk about how the importance of reference and how without references you can never truly get as good as you could, because otherwise you're just kind of drawing and working with what you already know, which is kind of lame, and I don't want that. So as you can see, it's coming along pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it, but there is one thing I forgot about, and that is the background. So I planned out the character, I practiced Luffy's like anatomy, clothes, and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, this is looking awesome. And then I get to the end of the coloring, and I'm like, wow, I don't know where to put him. I asked friends, I asked acquaintances about like, what do you think will look best on this? And honestly, I could not get a real answer or anything that I felt I could handle. So once I started working on that, I was, let's just say that it did not turn out very well. I initially wanted to go with something more simple, but I was like, man, I always do simple. I really got to challenge myself. That's the point of this channel. And instead, I ended up with like going with an area that was in the show, but I wanted to have it blurry, so it's just kind of the background, but whatever. I don't think it came out too amazing, but at the end of the day, it's an issue I saw, and it's something that I plan on working on, and you can look forward to me practicing my environments and backgrounds in the future. Thank you for checking this out, and please leave your critiques and any of your critiques and anything you want to say to me in the comments, and I will read through all of them and comment on all of them. Thank you so much for checking out my video. It means the world. Look forward to my next video, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care.